Hello and welcome.
Yes.
Right. We are your group from, what would we call ourselves?
Community Uncovered.
Yeah, but we used to say our guests, the wisest, but it's like
they're our co-hosts. But
yeah,
family,
for real, yeah. And we're just happy to be here this afternoon.
Yeah,
it's sunny and hot here in Huntsville, Alabama, and we would just want to welcome you guys. We've got about 34 people on, so we need you to tell somebody else to get on
with share.
us. Yes, like, share. Just tell people to come on. Let's roll. But we've got an action-packed segment today, and I think it's going to really
do some conversation.
Yeah. So go ahead.
It did for us.
Yeah, I know.
That's
so,
right.
babe, I'll let you set it up because we've got these T-shirts on, guys. Doesn't say committed and covered, but it says
love in action.
Yes. So with that love and action piece, it has some meaning behind it, a conference behind it, and a lot of information behind it. So we're going to go over that. And welcome, guys. We see you in the chat. Welcome.
Yes. So today's topic is his needs, her needs, unfiltered and uncovered. And so we're going to talk about his needs and her needs. We recently had a marriage conference, and the conference was called Love in Action, OUC Marriage Conference, and it was on April the 26th and 7th. And so from that conference, we had Pastor Calvin Roberson, who did an excellent job, him and his wife. And then after he left, we had these breakout sessions to talk about intimacy, sex, also communication. And then the last culminating breakout session that we had was called His Needs, Her Needs. And so what we did was we separated the husbands from the wives. And so Chantel and we spoke to the husbands, and Malcolm and, it was Choya and Everett, but Everett's not here today. So we have, of course, Malcolm and Choya, and they talked with the wives, and then we culminated by coming back together and talking about the different things that came out of each breakout session with the husbands and the wives. Okay. And so so we wanted to bring that here to this episode to also talk about what came out of it.
And then to just discuss it, period. So we got it on the screen, guys. You see it. His needs, her needs, unfiltered and uncovered.
Yes.
So what we want you guys to start doing is thinking about your spouse's needs, right? We already know our needs, right, guys?
Yeah.
But we want you to start thinking about your spouse's needs, because this is going to be a little interactive today. Because as you think about your spouse's needs, or if you're dating the person that you're dating, or your significant other, just start thinking about their needs.
Right. And I see someone in the chat said that Marsha said that she should have worn her shirt. Yeah, you still have
Yes.
time. You still have time. And if you attended the marriage conference, because we had people from
Everywhere.
Georgia,
Man, all over.
Memphis, Louisiana.
Yes.
I think
South Alabama.
South Alabama, Gulf Shores, and the furthest person, the couple came from St. Thomas.
St.
St. Thomas.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So,
Virgin
and then
Islands,
of course
US
our
Virgin
local
Islands.
family as well. So, okay,
Shadow Lita say, I'm excited. Let's get it.
okay,
All
okay.
right, let's go.
So who's on that was with us from the conference?
I think Marsha. I think her name is Marsha.
Oh, Marsha, yeah. Marsha.
Yeah, Marsha.
Marsha. How can we forget Marsha?
Yes. All right, cool.
Okay, so ladies, so this is what we did. So Chantel and I, we asked the husbands, first of all, to tell us what they thought that our needs were as women, as wives, what they thought our needs were. And so they gave us a list of those needs. And then they gave us, we also asked them, what are some things that you would really want to say to your wife, but you have a hard time saying? And we told them that's what we're here for. We can relay the message. And so, guys, post in the chat if we have any husbands, or if you're not, and you, like Malcolm said, you're dating someone. Post in the chat first of all, or are we asking the ladies?
No. We're going to do everybody. Well, okay.
Do the ladies?
Yes.
Okay, the ladies first. First. Post in the chat, what do you think your significant other's needs are, right? You can give 3. You don't have to do a dissertation in the chat. But, maybe give your top 3. If you're quick on the trigger with your typing, you could even do more than that, or even 1, if you can think of 1. All right, so ladies, put in the chat.
Come through, ladies.
Yeah, come through, ladies. What do you think your significant other's needs are?
Yes.
All right, drum roll. And as they go into the chat.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Kimberly. I think you put that.
Yeah, so Kimberly has posted what are the needs of the wife.
But now the wife is going to put the needs of the husband. Ladies, we're doing the ladies first. Thank you, Kimberly, but we're going to do the ladies first. Yes. Ladies, what do you think your husband, significant other's needs are? If you're dating, ladies, you can still say,
put it in there.
Yeah, still put it in there.
Or engaged. So
Somebody said words of affirmation.
Okay.
All right, words of affirmation.
Words of affirmation.
More than one person.
More than
Let's put that.
Person. That's
all right. Foundation said words of affirmation. Zora said words of affirmation. All right. Foundation Preparatory School.
Respect, Marsha. Okay.
Respect.
Okay, respect.
Yeah. That's what. Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll take about we'll look at them as you post them, but after we get about a couple of more, we'll go ahead and start kind of just comparing what you have posted in the chat to what
encouragement.
That's right. What's that? Okay,
All
so
right.
someone said encourage food.
That's different food.
Okay.
All right. So could we say encouragement? Is that Demisha? We'll put that with words of affirmation, but we love it though. Encouragement, words of affirmation kind of go hand in hand.
Yes.
Now, food is completely different.
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, that could be, we asked the question,
Yes.
what do they think that they need? So
Well, I'm saying completely different from words of affirmation.
Yeah.
But it is something that you feel like your husband or your significant other needs. All right. So food.
Okay, so PGAT says respect.
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
so we have a couple of respects.
Couple people on respect.
Put that in the chat, Joe.
Oh. Kimberly.
Grace.
Kimberly, thank you for putting that in.
Grace.
Okay, so D. Jones says grace. And then Luna says emotional connection.
Okay.
Physical intimacy.
All right, Luna.
Okay.
Trust and security. And Marsha says to listen. Okay, so we got some good ones. So
Yeah, good
let's
dive
dive into it. So Chantel, you want to go over some of those? What we've seen?
Yes. So what the men said that
You got one more, honesty.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
that
yeah.
the men want
Deborah
honesty.
said honesty. No, Deborah said honesty.
Okay, Deborah says honesty. And then I see again we have another acts of service and time together.
Yeah.
Quality time. Okay. Y'all starting to speak these
Okay,
5
so-
love
All right.
languages.
So one of the big ones was respect. Like
Right.
that came out a lot, and a couple of people said it in the chat.
Yes.
That's a real thing. The men they want to be respected, ladies.
Yeah, because typically
Go
we
figure.
think that sex is number one with
Yeah.
men. And let us say this, we had at least about 52 men. We had about 52 men.
Yeah. Big
So, right. So typically we think some women think sex is number one, but the men said respect.
Respect was high. It was high on the list.
But also they said that they wanted us to be intentional about it,
Intention about respecting them.
about respecting them.
Treat
And
you
so,
like a king.
ladies, we're gonna humbly have this conversation. Okay?
Right.
Put
They're
yourself
gonna have their
behind.
turn.
Yeah, they are. They got,
But it's so that's a need, and that's what we're here for, to meet their needs.
Right.
So
Okay, I
respect
like
is one
that.
of them.
and they want us to be intentional about it, you know.
Yes.
So we know what intentionality
Yes.
means. So let's be intentional about respecting our husbands.
Yeah, even when we don't feel that respect is.
Deserved.
Okay,
We
so
support
can
them too.
I jump in real quick because
Yeah.
we got over 100 and about 130 devices.
Welcome,
with us.
welcome,
Okay.
welcome.
So welcome. There's some new people here, guys. We are talking about the conference that we had about 2 weeks ago, Love in Action, to kind of bring you guys up to snuff. We'll do this maybe 2 more times as we go through. So the ladies right now are giving a sample of a poll that we took at the conference for the ladies and for the men. So Chantel and Nicole are going over what women thought or perceived that men needed and wanted in the relationship bond. So that's what they're going over right now. Am I correct, ladies?
Well, that was a miss. Yeah, no, let me correct you.
Yes.
The men told us this
Yes.
specifically.
I'm sorry, yes.
The men
That's
told us
my
some
Freudian
things.
slip. The
Right.
men told the ladies, go, okay.
Yeah,
so-
what?
Yes.
Yeah. So respect was number one on their list. So these are basically in order
Yes.
of what they felt.
So the ladies are giving what they thought that their
the
husband-
men,
Yeah.
the men,
the men.
the-
the
Oh,
men
okay.
are giving us
That's
the
right.
husband.
Men.
You know what, guys? That's my age shining through. So they're going over
all right,
men.
brother.
I have been saying
We're gonna
it
keep
the
you in the wrong. That's
opposite way
okay.
for the longest, guys.
Yes, you got Kimberly.
Y'all got me
Yeah,
confused,
see, if
man.
Reggie Hill was there, I know y'all had an emergency.
Yeah.
But yeah, Go
So
ahead.
we're saying
Y'all
we were
correct
in-
me.
No, it's
Yeah,
okay.
yeah,
We
yeah.
were
We
in the
got it, baby.
room,
It's
and this is what
Thank
the
you,
men,
baby.
because see, the whole goal was for us to be
Talk
the
about it.
messengers
Right.
to the
Yeah.
women.
to the women.
Ladies, that's why I said, ladies, we're going to humbly receive what they said, because
Right.
this is what they said that they
Yes.
want.
And then we were
need.
also talking
Thank you,
about
Kimberly.
with the women.
Yes.
Right now, the women
Yes.
were putting in the chat what they thought that
their
the men
husbands
want.
needed.
Yes,
Right.
thank you. Y'all should have corrected
So-
me a long time
No,
ago.
it's
was
okay.
trying.
We were rolling. But this was an interesting one, Nicole.
Right.
So appreciation and not competition. So it seems that okay, and I'm guilty, okay, of this. Just feeling like your spouse can't really do it the way that you do it. So if
okay.
you're caring for the kids, whatever it may be, it's just not gonna, you may take the kids to the store and they may have on, the hair may not be combed. I don't know. I'm just throwing something out there. They want to just feel appreciated that
Right.
they did it, and don't try to compete or compare.
Yes. Make it a competition.
Right, and I
Yes.
was like, man, that.
I mean,
man,
that was pretty
That
deep.
was deep.
That
Yeah,
was pretty
I was
deep,
like,
you
man,
know?
we really do that.
Right. So again, you guys listed some of these, like, again, respect, and then as Chantel just said, appreciation. And they said, but with no competition.
No competition.
Okay. So do y'all really do that?
I mean,
you too?
I've done it.
You have?
I've done it.
Okay. Well,
No,
so
I
you
don't
tell
know.
Choya you can't comb hair like I comb it or something?
Well, but I know that he can't.
Okay.
But I mean, he can't. He knows that too. That's no shade. But I think that just kind of downplaying his efforts.
Okay, got
when
it.
it's like, okay, Chantel is not gonna look like how you
Right.
would do it.
Yeah,
But just
yeah.
he put forth the effort, appreciate it. Yeah. So
And
I
that's
guess,
just across the board with
Yeah, it
anything, that I guess that a man might be doing. A woman does it differently.
Right.
Most of the time when it comes to the children, at least in my household, I do it better. No, I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, woman does it better.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, so I'm short of the expectation, but then a lot of times grace is needed that like, hey,
Right.
the kids, like a lot of us men will say sometimes they're not gonna die. Like they're
Right,
gonna be
That's
okay.
the famous
Yes,
line right
that's the
there.
famous line.
Yeah.
And I think, as we grow, together, because I can say, and since we're talking about kids, there were times when I felt like, oh, Malcolm, you let Sydney come out looking like that, because we felt like that was a representation of us as mothers, but then I had to learn to say, you know what? They know when they see my children looking like that, that's the daddy. Okay, that's the daddy.
And they actually, y'all get a pass on that. I don't know if y'all realize that. The women, we won't, because and especially if you're looking good and the kids jacked up, but y'all can get a pass on that.
But
Let the kids out
I
the
guess
house.
self-expression, I really love that. Maybe that's the behavioral health background in me, but we had a concert here at the church, and our daughter, Sydney, she couldn't have been more than 4th grade or so, and I brought her out to the church, and Nicole couldn't make it with me, but she put on whatever she wanted to put on. And I wouldn't say she looked like a rag doll.
No, but I was on work. I was on travel, but I made it back. And when I walked in the church and I saw her, I said,
I wouldn't say that she looked like a rag doll, you guys, but she looked like how she wanted to
she
look.
had on tights, a jumper.
Yeah. I mean, she did
little
it.
heels.
Yeah, she did it the way
When y'all get away, when y'all leave, we play.
Yeah,
you know
but
what I'm saying?
But Toya, it really wasn't a lazy moment for me. I actually was. When I saw her, I'm like, "Girl, you're looking cute, right?" And she was feeling it.
She was feeling it.
all the way up
You was
until her
trying
mom.
to encourage her.
But her mom
some
showed
autonomy.
up. Oh my goodness, her mom showed up and was like, "I
that
can't."
off.
But it was at church, so she.
Oh.
I can't believe this. I'm like, look what you're doing. I mean, she's like, but we're going into another subject.
But
This is good, though. This is good.
That's right.
Marsha said, sometimes you have to learn
To just let it go.
Gotta
And
let
you
it go.
do.
Gotta
So you do.
So
So you're
tough.
right. So appreciate what they do and when they do it, ladies.
Autonomy.
So yes. Autonomy, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
One of his the men's needs were for they want their spouse,
laughing?
because it's funny to have some space. Like they want some space.
need some
They want us
space.
to get some friends.
Back up.
Yeah, they did. They really, the men said that
Give
they
me
love
50
us.
feet.
Yeah, that they love us, but they need some space sometimes. And, because they felt like, some of them felt that the wives wanted them to be their all in all.
Yes.
And they just wish that the wives would get maybe
Too
a
much.
friend or something to do,
Yes.
just to give them a little space. And I mean, I can understand that, because we all need space. We all need our own space. If you hang out with your friends, if you have friends, and then of course, your spouse is your ultimate best friend, should be. But sometimes, and we're just the messengers. We're just telling you what the men said. The men said, get some friends and give them a little space. That's all. In a loving way.
Lovingly,
In a loving
lovingly.
way, yes.
Jumping back just a little bit, Kimberly said her husband at one time had her daughter looking like a cartoon character. One ponytail facing north, the other one facing south. Maybe she wanted to be a unicorn, a unicorn with a tail.
That's funny.
But yeah, so go ahead, babe.
No, and like Marsha said, especially when they come in from work, and that is true. Everybody needs time to unwind.
Yeah.
Because even as a mom, when I used to get off work and I would make it home, I would just sit in the garage a little bit, or come home, give everybody hugs and kisses, and go straight to the bathroom and sit for 15 to 20 minutes. And my kids knew that, except Miles. He always ran, but my daughter was like, yeah, Mom, she comes in the bathroom 15 to 20 minutes, So just that unwind time, just to get your thoughts and things together,
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Now this one, I don't know. We gonna get some feed. We need to get some feedback in the chat on this next one. So the men, they want us to convey to you ladies that that they want unlimited sex. So ladies, tell us
The
how y'all feel about
men did not say that.
Okay, some said it.
I was about to say.
Some said it, because
Some,
I put in
not
parentheses,
all, but-
some, not all, but that was,
there wasn't a lot of
that's right.
A good
other
frequency.
comments
Well,
denying it.
I would say men who are a little maybe more mature and understand how life really is, maybe unlimited sexuality. Yeah.
That's not what
I'm
was
just
said.
saying. I'm just
But-
putting.
So what y'all saying is the
lighten the
men
load.
as a group was saying that they wanted unlimited sex.
some of them.
I mean, that's high on their list. That's a high priority.
Unlimited
Yeah.
sex.
So, ladies, what do you all think about that?
Unlimited
Would you all
sex.
agree?
And you know, this was a topic of discussion at the conference. You know,
Yeah, this is at the conference.
And we talked a lot about
but we've
sex.
talked about this with the within the last couple of episodes about intimacy versus sex. And so even within this conversation at the marriage conference, the women basically said that you can possibly sometimes get unlimited sex, but it's speaking your spouse's love language to which can lead to the bedroom.
Well, two ladies said, Marsha said they have, which is men, have to be realistic.
Yeah.
Right.
And Kimberly said, what's the definition of unlimited sex?
Yeah.
Define.
Right.
She
That's
said
a good
define.
question.
Yeah.
I believe from the ones that stated it that when they wanted it, basically.
Yeah.
I would say unlimited sex when they wanted it. And so again, as we mentioned with wives, you know, men, if you want that, and like you said, sometimes it can be unrealistic depending on the phase you are in your marriage,
Yeah.
you know, versus
Yeah.
when you first got married,
Yes.
then you started a family, your careers, and then, you know, later on in your marriage. So, but again, we've talked about this before, you know, that unlimited sex. I mean, what are you doing to get unlimited sex?
Uh-oh. Yeah,
Meaning,
yeah.
are you speaking your spouse's love
Yes.
language? I mean, are you meeting
need to
those
earn it
needs
then. He need to
before
earn that
the
unlimited.
bedroom? You know, because
Yes.
we don't, as women, want to feel like we're just a mattress pad.
Oh,
You
wow.
understand what I'm saying? We don't.
Yeah. No,
we
we
don't
don't. We
want
don't
to feel
want
like
that.
that. No.
Unlimited sex.
So
Yeah.
speak our love language, and not only just speak it inside the bedroom, but before the bedroom. And then I believe if there's no serious issues, that unlimited sex could happen.
Yeah. And I mean, there's nothing wrong if it's mutually agreed
Right.
upon.
Yeah,
if you
yeah,
can,
right.
if you can do that, sister, hey, do it. Like more power to you.
I think a negative kind of view has been put on unlimited sex, Malcolm.
Yes, sir.
Because I look at it from a holistic standpoint.
Preach it.
I look at it from the standpoint of health.
Yeah. Keep you alive.
And we need to champion the brothers that
Yes.
want unlimited sex. That means that they're healthy, their
Yeah.
hearts are ready, they're in good shape.
You're right about that.
Unlimited sex should be the goal.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Unlimited sex should be the goal.
For the it should be.
No,
And you know, even
I'm just playing,
Marsha
man.
said she's not surprised that number 4 was on the list, but
Right.
you know, even
We need to put a cap, maybe. You know,
we
we
you know,
negotiate. We can talk.
no matter what age you are, your body's gonna put a cap on it anyway.
Right,
But
and
I think
yeah.
we have lofty ideals as men, and I mean, it would be nice.
Right.
You know, it would be nice
Because eventually, like you said, your body is not
No matter what
going
age you
to be able to physically do that every day. You might want to
even if you're 20.
feel it, but yeah.
Yeah. And I guess that's when you can start shifting more towards intimacy.
Well,
You know.
shift at the beginning, and then as you start decreasing, that should become more, definitely more of it, you know, a part of it, you know.
And unlimited sex too. We shouldn't get real anxious and panic about that, because for some men, unlimited sex is as much as they could do, and some can only do once a week.
Yeah.
So
And
that's
is
unlimited
so
for
that's
them.
that.
It's
So
a-
like,
Yeah.
yeah.
This is
Piquet
true.
says unlimited is unhealthy.
Unlimited is unhealthy.
Yeah.
And like
Yes.
Marsha said, sometimes it doesn't happen that way, and that's true. And we've talked about this before, health reasons, you know. But I am a firm believer that if you have a healthy sex life, and if that healthy sex life is having sex every day, or having sex twice a week, once a week, whatever floats your boat as a married couple, then so be it.
Yeah.
But if you know what looks healthy to me might not look healthy to someone else.
Yeah.
You understand what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So,
And I
yeah.
think you said it, speaking of love language, and I think Kimberly, somebody put in the chat 24/7, like the text in the Bible that says husbands, tell them the wives to respect their husbands, love your wives. Ephesians.
Ephesians 5.
So I feel like, I really feel like if that is happening like it's
That's a
supposed
good
to,
thing, right.
like brothers, I don't really think y'all have nothing to worry about.
That's
Yeah.
right.
You know,
Yeah.
love your wives, and wives respect your husbands, and I think that you can have something real fruitful.
Yeah.
Right. Celia says temperance in everything, my brothers.
I like that.
And Debbie said,
yes.
too much of everything is bad. Okay, so what's the next
But
one?
what is too
Temperance, my
much?
brother,
Too much of a
temperance.
good thing, you know?
Well, and somebody actually said it. We missed it. I think it was For My Destiny said that it can be unlimited if it's great.
Yeah.
Ooh.
You know, so
Wow.
hey, that's what I'm saying. To each his own.
Right,
Like
yeah.
whatever works for you,
Yeah.
you and your household.
In your
I like that.
household, right.
And then the last one before we kick it off to the men, I guess, Nick. This one we're kind of puzzled about it. Maybe the men can explain this for the men.
Okay.
But they said, ladies, they said they need us to talk less.
That's not what they said.
Let's talk.
Less talking, talk less.
Yeah, but I think that kind of goes along though. Even though they did say this, ladies, less talking. I think that goes in terms with the space, having the space to be able to just kind of have a woosah moment, maybe after work or just some unwind time for them to just get their thoughts together, just to have a moment to themselves. Because women, we typically speak more words. And, there are days where I come at Malcolm and I'm just talking and talking. And I can see that he is not tuned in.
You don't
or
tell me
listening.
that.
I can tell. So,
But you still keep talking, though.
But it's more so because I'm talking to him, but I'm also just talking, just getting it out, venting or whatnot. But I do understand that, and wives, we just have to over time just realize that, we have to just check ourselves and wait for that opportune moment where we can really say, okay, have you decompressed? And if so, let's sit down and let's talk. I want to get some things out, about my day or whatnot. So I do understand.
You want to get it out, like Inger said, man cave time.
Man cave time. Come on.
Yeah, I kind of struggled with that one a little bit, and maybe I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Because I
The
was
man
like,
cave time or don't
Too
talk
much talking.
less.
well, so I didn't know if because women we are typically known to nag, So I
Wow.
didn't know if they were talking about that. So I was really kind of confused on that one, which I can understand that. Okay, a little less nagging and a lot more just kind of using your words and getting to the point. Or do you just want me to be quiet because I want to talk to you?
Yeah.
So I was confused, and because women we're full of details. You hear the details in our communication. Like me and y'all are just straight to the point.
Right.
Y'all will say what you need to say and it's done. But we may want to tell you that somebody was crossing the street before I get to the rest of the story.
Right,
But
right.
Yeah.
so do you want me to? I kind of struggle with that.
I think it's a general statement.
Yeah.
And it goes to each home and each family differently. I guess you kind of have to look introspectively and see when does it feel like the man is saying is just a lot of talking.
Yeah.
And
I
then,
mean, because we can. Okay, if we are having a disagreement,
I
sometimes
see there.
women can go
I
on.
see. I didn't want to bring everything up myself.
But you was hoping somebody.
Yeah.
Okay, we I mean, that can happen where sometimes if there's a point we're trying to make and get out, we can keep going on. But I also feel like with men, if there's something that you guys are strongly adamant about,
we're gonna talk
you
about
keep
it.
going on and on too.
Just
Where we
like us.
so it just depends, So, but Luna says that this can be a healthy boundary if it's temporary and respectful. True. And then DeJohn says we can have a time out our talking better at times. We can time our talking
Time
better
to talking.
at
That's
times.
the quote of the
Right.
day right there.
Yeah.
Time to
Time to
talking.
talk.
Right.
But
Like that.
I try not to discourage the talking, even when I'm not in the talking mood, because that discourages communication in the future, And so I even if I have that look on my face, babe, I still accept the words that are coming to me.
Well,
I don't.
That's a whole nother.
So to keep it real, Robertson, he got into this kind of deep. So I'll just go off of what he was saying. And what he was saying, a lot of times what men feel like a lot of talking is that when a man and a woman gets in a disagreement, he's saying that it's almost feeling like he's talking to another man. or that some men feel that way. Like it's, the aggressiveness, the pitch, and that how disorienting that can be for a man. And I think that that's a lot of what men experience. I don't know that we know how to articulate that that's a concern, but a lot of times when a lot of times when there's disagreements and things like that, this is sometimes what we get from the men, and that was what Roberson stressed.
Okay,
reckless.
So basically, as women, when we're having this, if we're having a disagreement with our spouses, watch and manage our tone with you all. Basically, what he's saying. Okay.
Well, Ingrid said something about women.
Sister Ingrid said men are logical, but women are emotional. Men want to get to the end of our talking because they just want to know how to fix whatever is bothering us.
That's a great point.
Yeah,
and it's hard to strike that balance between the sexes, right? The woman needing to be able to express herself, and the man just being able to get the point. And I think that's kind of what we jostle with.
Yeah.
But that's a great statement.
It's delicate because even Marcia says sometimes it could be a form of rejection.
Right.
Yeah, because it makes me think about, because if this is a need of mine to be able to say what I need to say, and you hear me, so where do we strike the balance?
Yes, got to let you talk sometimes.
It's a lot.
Yeah. And then they also talked about clarity. Just say what we want, ladies. They want you to just say it.
Right.
No beating around the bush about it. Just
reading.
say it. Just say it. So you get the point. And then lastly, they gave us some things they wanted us to know as wives is that they see us. They do see us, and that they do understand that we want lots of communication. And they know that we want accountability and action, meaning if you say you're going to do something, do it. And also they know that we want them to be our protector. We look for security and leadership in the home. And we look for consistency, love and affection, commitment, intimacy, and also they want compromising on both sides. On both sides.
They made that very clear.
Compromising on both sides.
It was a lot of talk about that one.
So Donna Wright said, "Don't talk to me like I'm one of your girlfriends, because you're not going to really care about my opinion about the girl talk stuff. Just like she don't care about my fantasy player in the portal."
And I get what he's saying. And basically, Donna, you can tell me if this is what you're meaning. Some things just need to be for our girlfriends. Yeah. And then some things for you all.
Or who's winning in the NBA playoffs. Nicole,
the woman totally. Well, some women do, but in many cases just don't want to hear that.
Care less.
Yeah. Okay.
Even when it comes down to the Super Bowl, she might watch. She might watch the Super Bowl because they hear so much about certain players. Yes.
DJ said, "I have to admit, I'd rather just say what I need to say and not beat around the bush." I think earlier on in marriage, I did, but. As I matured, it's just this is what it is. This is what it is.
And I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
And I think it's important that clarity part because women, they can't read our minds. And then I know I used to find myself, I would get upset because you don't know what I'm feeling. You're supposed to know. You're supposed to be able to read my mind, but realistically, that they can't do that. And we have to be mature enough.
We're not telepathic.
Right. And that's fair. That's fair. Right. Just tell you what we need, but we want to be able to tell you what we need in expectation that you're going to hear it and that the need is going to be met.
Yeah. Kimberly says women communicate eye to eye, men communicate shoulder to shoulder. Completely agree. Okay, Sister Ingrid. Okay, so that's some good talk. So
how about toe to toe?
So now for the we need
toes on toes.
The men.
Choya's got it.
Yeah, the men to post in the chat.
Yeah.
Post what they think women need.
Yes, if the men can take a moment to post in the chat, okay, what you believe. Is that what we're doing now?
Yeah, I got confused, so that's why I turned it over. So what is it, Dr. Taylor?
We just wanted the men to put in the chat what you think the woman's needs are. Because we just
we talked to the women.
Yeah, we didn't get to do ours.
You got to do yours now.
You got to do it now.
Okay.
So men, help them out. Can you put some things in the chat that you think that your wife needs?
Right.
Yeah.
And then the guys are gonna see if you're on point with that.
That's right. Just list quickly. List a couple,
Okay.
one or two in the chat. What you think your wife needs are.
All right.
One, a credit card with an unlimited balance.
Unlimited.
Mercy.
That can go to all stores, you know.
Yes.
It can multitask like grocery because this is for the kids, this is for the family.
Number one.
Yeah, or the mall, or Shin, or Amazon, or whatever.
They
Yeah.
calling y'all out, me, and they saying speak up in the chat.
Unlimited,
Yeah.
unlimited credit card number one.
Somebody
What does
said,
your wife want,
"We
man? What does
listen
your
and we don't
girlfriend want?
judge."
What is your
Listen and don't judge.
you know, your what is it called before you get married? Your fiance.
Yeah, fiance.
Yeah, fiance.
Yeah,
Y'all may have to just go on and drop it
Yeah,
on.
go
us.
ahead.
yeah.
The
So
men
we'll-
are a little bashful today.
we
Yeah,
are.
they're
We
playing
are.
it safe. I mean, I understand that. I ain't mad.
So from the women, from the men, which one are we? Which one am I doing?
Right here.
I thought so.
This is what this.
All right, it's her needs from the. This is men, right? Take charge.
Mm-hmm.
That's number one, basically.
Yeah, that was number one.
Take charge, right? So I guess, Joyce, if they're telling us to take charge and we demand sex every day, is that not taking charge?
I thought, you know, stuttering.
But I'm just being funny with that, y'all. I'm
y'all
definitely-
Okay,
One.
someone Jameson said daily foot massage.
Oh yeah, Jameson.
Okay.
That's
I
nice.
think that was
Okay.
on there.
That's good.
That was on the side.
Yeah, Karen said, "Where are the men?"
I know we
All right.
heard. Okay,
And then
Ron
number two-
said,
There's silence in the
Ron-
chat.
Ron said,
Ron
more,
said
security.
more security.
We like that. We like
Okay.
that, Jameson and Ron. Thank you.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. So number two is intimacy,
Quality
right?
time, words of affirmation.
And
Quality
quality.
time. It's
All right,
Reggie
all
Hill.
right, gentlemen. All right,
Yes, sir.
Quality time,
More
words of
security.
affirmation. You're almost
Ron
5
Jefferson.
love languages. Okay. So listen and action. So listen and then do. Is that what the? And then know her love language. Some of you guys have put that in. Yeah, that ain't the same. Okay.
So can I interject? Because I feel like y'all
Interject.
just running through this list, brothers. I
Well,
can't. Can
Joel
we kind of
just said love and affection, security, and
to get
protection.
No.
to the good stuff
No,
now.
I'm
Yeah.
saying like, so can y'all break down what y'all feel like the go? Can y'all
right.
break down the take charge part? Can we just kind of get into that a little bit? What y'all, what are the ladies saying to you men?
You know, from a caveman perspective, right? From a caveman perspective, you like the idea of taking charge as I'm the man, stay home, I bring home the bacon kind of thing. But honestly, for me, I believe taking charge is being able to fill in the gaps, right? And not only being able to fill in the gaps, not having to be told to.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
so
I like that.
so
Yeah, me too.
I think really, and I'm not trying to be philosophical and like, ooh, Malcolm, you get an A for that. No, I mean really, I think that's the need for a woman, because I'm not saying, I would never say women want to be controlled. They want to be heard, but then they want honesty, right? And there's times like when we used to have a rub with money, I would tell my wife, with this spending habit, we'll be broke. Now, she hated that, but she appreciated the barriers that we were trying to establish with each other for financial, what would we call it? Freedom, right?
Yeah.
We're still working on it.
Yeah.
27, almost 27 years
Long
in,
as
we're
it's
still
the
working
plan.
on
That's
it.
why we
Long
said
as
an
the-
unlimited
but
credit
I
card
think
for
that-
that unlimited sex.
Yeah, because she's 27 years a slave. She almost 27 years a slave on it, but yeah.
But another, okay, so the men, they didn't stepped up.
Okay.
Somebody said that, a wife said, not my husband here exposing me, but someone says, making a decision when needed,
Yeah.
listening to her problems, but don't provide any solutions. That's a good one.
Yeah.
Do you want change or not? Okay. And being there for her is one. So, okay. So those are
I think,
Here's Marcus said consistency, provision, love, selflessness,
Come on.
protection, listening ear.
no,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
Joel,
yeah,
Joel
yeah.
said love and affection, security and protection.
That's what's up.
Okay.
That's what's
Joel
up.
trying to do
I
all
wanted to,
rhymey and things.
Oh, go ahead.
You know, I said Joel being all rhymey and things. Go ahead, Joy.
I wanted to jump back to make a statement about the taking charge. I think that some women when they're thinking about taking charge, wants a man who could be decisive. Just make a freaking decision.
That's very important.
It's just make a decision. Don't just stand by whether I agree with it or disagree with it. Make a decision.
Yeah.
You know, and some of us, I think that we fall back from making decisions because we may feel like that we might be challenged. But what I find out a lot of times is that it's still important to make the decision. Don't let that be an excuse to not make a decision because you fear, because your spouse might not challenge you. The person that you're dating may not challenge you. It's like a responsibility of a man to make a decision.
Or could it be,
decisive.
or could it also be maybe thinking about failure?
Big time. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like I might make the wrong decision. Everything is on me and I'm putting the family at risk. So some of us would rather go behind our women to make the decision. And that way I can't fail. You know?
Marsha said that's about date night. Is that taking charge?
Taking charge, yeah.
Taking
was.
charge.
That was
It's on the list. They just hadn't gotten to it yet. But yeah, women do
Marcus
want
said, real
want to
talk,
take
y'all,
charge.
respect. Gotta lead in a way that she feels respected.
Absolutely, Marcus.
That's a big one, yes. Because
Amen
we
to
also want respect too.
decisiveness, because that is important. That to me, it just really, to me, that's a form of security as well. You know, in a sense, like I'm sorry. Like I'm not really married, you know, to the sucker, you know, to a punk, man. I have a man here. You know what I'm saying?
But I also think it's a turn on too. You know, especially a couple of times, and Malcolm have had to tell me this is what we're gonna do.
Right.
And I was like, okay, I fall back.
Unlimited sex.
Go Malcolm. Go Malcolm.
But my wife is not telling y'all how many times I've had to do that. You talking about a strong sister, boy. This is a strong
I gave
sister.
you a compliment.
Right.
I gave you a compliment.
Mustang Sally. Yeah, strong sister. She was raised well. Yeah.
All right. So where we at?
Okay, so
y'all went back to take charge, but I went all the way down to know her love language, but Chantel said, let's slow down a little bit.
Yeah.
And then,
because we want to really understand what it is. We're trying to learn here, you know?
Okay.
Right.
Yeah, we're trying to learn.
This was a big one, I think, for the discussion, because we start getting into a lot of without promptings. And so one of the, Marsha mentioned it, one of the big ones we had a big discussion about was planned date night without her input, without her prompting.
Yes.
That was big and a lot of discussion, a lot of rumbling in the room. Not just plan the date night, but plan it without her prompting.
And ladies, give him a pass if it's not necessarily what you want to do.
Yes.
Like the Bible says, you train up a child, you train up your husband too.
That's true.
Yeah.
And a lot of us don't mind being trained.
That's right. Yeah. So, I mean, you reward your man for the effort, you know. Because for me, date night is something very reasonable, you know.
You squeeze that in, though. You squeeze all of this.
Yes, he did.
We got these coupons to a restaurant.
Come on now.
That it's two, and it's a rhyme. Two can dine for $9.99.
Two can dine, baby.
And for me, we can do that date night all the time, baby. Two can dine for $9.99. I mean, I got something on it. You know, I'm like, wow, come on, let's have fun. Hey, I mean, it doesn't come with a drink, but we can take a bottle of water in there, baby.
Bring your own drink.
Bring your own cup. That's right, Choya.
But even
but
even saying that, again, the ladies were saying, know what our love languages are. So when you know what your spouse's love language, what that is, then it should be easier to plan, to properly plan, and know what to do. Because if you learn your spouse, you know what they like and what they don't like.
Absolutely.
And that's, I mean, guys, that's simple to us. But you all sometimes can make it bigger than what it seems when you start making it harder by saying, they need to appreciate this. But guys, speak your spouse's love language. That's really it. You know what they like, what they need, what they want. Just do that.
So we I have a rhyme cliche that goes for husband and wife. Learn your spouse, save your house.
Ooh. Okay,
I like that. I like
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So
Yes.
all of us, you learn your spouse, you save your house. Happy home.
Save that house,
Because you know how they say happy
Save
wife,
that
happy-
house, baby.
Yeah, happy life.
Save that
yeah.
house.
Rochelle said, "Oh Lord, don't tell me he's cheap."
You know, I am totally team women here, but I'm gonna help the brothers out for just a moment with the planned date night, because I think it goes back to one of their needs, because the planned date night without our input is what we want as women, but you all also want to feel appreciated.
True.
So let's appreciate the efforts. If it's $9.99, two could dine for $9.99.
That's
If
right.
that's what it ends up being, like, just show appreciation. And then they also said with that appreciation not to compare or compete.
Right.
So it may not look like a date night that you would plan, but just we can help them, we can teach
Right.
them, but just don't knock it if it's two could dine for $9.99.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody, Ann said no 99-cent coupons until we're in our golden years. Whoa,
There you
whoa.
go. There, yeah.
No
yeah.
coupons. Better hide them coupons, brothers.
Yeah, but
Don't
the
let
men,
us see them.
But the men are still kind of posting. Reggie says, "Provide a safe space for your wife."
Yes.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
that
Reggie.
was
So
also on the
important.
men too,
Yeah.
be, having a safe space. Well, okay, guys.
All right, so we can kind of bring some people up to snuff because we're almost at 300 devices. So, guys, we had
Come on
a
now.
marriage conference a couple weeks ago. It's called Love in Action. That's why we're wearing these T-shirts. And we had a great presenter, Calvin Roberson, off of Married at First Sight. And so we went over a lot of things. And what we're going over are his needs, her needs. And we're kind of capping the needs that that women saw for men, right? Or men saw for women.
The men told us what they thought their wives' needs were, and some things that they wanted them to know, but
Yes.
they didn't feel that they could share it, and then vice versa. The men talked to the women, and the women shared what they thought their husbands' needs were, and some things that they wanted their husbands to know. So we're done with the men, and so now the men
And
are
Brenda
giving
kind of
husbands.
put in a nutshell too in the chat. She said, "Just do what they want."
Yeah, I'm like Brenda. It's simple.
Just do what they want, huh?
Do what they like.
Marsha-
That's what she said. Do what they like.
And Karen said, "If one party has the gift of planning, why force the other?" Okay.
Oh, whoa. That's.
That man.
All right,
I think that
Karen.
deserves a repeat.
All right, Karen.
Okay. That's
No,
what-
but
but
no,
if the
it
repeat
depends
is
on
a-
each home. You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
yeah.
What I think it's important to do is pay attention to what the women were saying. So a lot of women, they were saying that they want things without prompting. I've been blessed and lucky and favored in our home with our date night. Chantel, I guess I don't know if she just saw stressed out or what. It's just stress. I
just
get
took it
stressed
over, huh,
even
Joy?
hearing talking about planning a date night because I'm just not that creative like that. She is, and so we plan it together.
Awesome.
That's
And so
good.
then it's no pressure,
Right.
and a lot of times I'm more persistent that it happens,
Yeah.
But then she is too, and we go back and forth. So I think it's whatever fits for the home. But certainly, if there's some person that's a planner, why push the issue? I think that we need to respect each other's gifts, what we're good at. That doesn't mean we can't learn and adapt and please each other. If that's
Right.
important to your wife and you're not creative, man, we got ChatGPT now. We
All
come
kinds
up
of
with
stuff
something.
on- yeah,
You know
it's
what I'm
all
saying?
kinds of stuff out
If you're
there.
not
Yeah.
creative, so
Right.
it's no excuses.
Yeah.
So I guess for those who want their husband, we do ours together. But for those who want their husbands to do it, the husbands just plan a
Right.
date night
Yeah.
and don't stress about it. Get some
Right.
help. Call your mom. Ask a friend, your sister.
Well,
You know,
you
get
got to be
some
careful
advice.
because mom may not be like
Well,
on
if
on
it's healthy,
on
if
the
it's
team.
healthy.
Mom,
might
I
be
say
like-
hater.
Yeah, she might like date night. I'll tell you where to
Do your
take
best.
her.
You gonna take me out.
So basically, what you're saying is just guys do your best.
Yeah, do your
just
best.
the effort, and your wife should see the effort. Hopefully,
Prayerfully.
yes.
Because the effort is pretty sexy, man. I ain't gonna lie. Just do something.
Okay. Anything
All right.
else? Yeah.
So are coupons bad for a date night?
But not every date night.
Okay, all right.
All right.
I'm just asking for a friend.
So we had also consistency is highlighted. This is something that I believe the women said that they needed was consistency. We lack that a lot of times as men. We'll say we might do something, we don't follow up with it. We might have excuses. It's easy to have excuses, but the overwhelming consensus was that consistency is needed
Right.
from the men. And then let's see, active listening.
Yeah, that was a big discussion.
Active listening. We get distracted sometimes.
Yeah, we do.
It's easy to get distracted, isn't it? When it's a 20-minute conversation or something. Like, no, I'm sorry. My fault.
No, but that was a discussion that came up with both parties, both spouses, that active listening piece that women, we really need that active listening piece. Like when we do come to you, I mean, I know for me, if I'm coming to Malcolm and it's something that I really want to talk about, and I say, hey, babe, I've learned to say, I need your undivided attention. I just have to say that, right? Yeah. And that means if you have your cell phone, put it down.
Yeah. Somebody put that in the text chat. Kimberly said, put the phone away.
Yeah, put the phone down.
That's a good one.
I need eye-to-eye contact. I need to know that you're really listening to me. So that was a big thing, definitely for women, active listening, that you are in tune to what we are about to talk with you about, whatever that is,
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I think it was Leah. Leah said we got to learn to love simplicity
and
commitment as wives. And contentment as wives. Thank you, babe. Be careful.
And then I like what Reggie said. He said, date night, keep doing what you did to get her or him.
Yeah, so Marsha said that earlier. I think we missed it, but she said if you were planning date nights when we were dating, why you have to stop when you get married? Right. Just keep doing, keep doing the same thing. Or at least that effort.
At least that much.
Right. Yeah.
And,
that much.
And let's be encouraged. Thank you for sharing. When you said your late husband used to plan date night because he knew you liked that. That's a great memory.
Yes,
Thank you for sharing that.
Yes.
Let's be encouraged.
Definitely.
Leroy said date night is not a what is that?
Not a competent comparative arena. It can be learning space.
Okay.
Yeah. And I think I kind of said that once you start putting forth the effort, I think you'll get better at it. Whatever it is that
grace
you do.
And a lot of patience.
And as wives, we can have that grace and patience, right?
Michelle said, "Excellent, Nicole." On
thank
something.
you.
Don't know what that was.
On something.
What about that one by communicate?
Communicate with kindness was another one. That was a lot of humming over there. Yeah. They're about to start singing.
Because they brought that up with Pastor Calvin Roberson about men and when we are maybe in a disagreement, sometimes your voice, that tone is just a little off for us. It's just not quite right when we're talking.
Is that why y'all bring that bass in with it?
We don't bring that bass.
No, listen, Nicole, for those who do it, they're just trying to match.
I don't do that.
They're just trying to match.
No, but that's a good point. Maybe sometime while we hear a lot of the bass in the room with us is because of our own tone. So that's something that we could imagine. Think about. Maybe we bringing too much of that. And we need to. I know for me personally, I have learned that patience and kindness is something that I didn't even know I wasn't doing enough of, and I just kind of discovered it one day. It's like, you know what, babe, I don't think I'm really patient with you. Wow. And that was a big part of our problems. Yeah, we're still working on.
Changed everything.
Yeah, it's still changing because Lord have mercy, that's a work.
But that's important.
Women, patience.
Yeah.
That
And
Corinthians.
the tone. Like for me, your tone is everything. And if your tone is not where I need it to be, then I shut down. You don't get much out of me then, because I'm like, your tone has just took us to a different level to me, So we men,
and I think the tones are important, but I also think just sometimes I know I have felt at times like dismissive in what it is that I'm saying. So I think when you're communicating with kindness, that's a part of it too. Even if you don't agree with what I'm saying, like, don't dismiss it like I didn't just say what I said,
It's really no excuse for it.
Because that's not nice.
That's not dismissive. That's a good point. It can come across as that, being dismissive. But So Mayo says our pitch might go up a notch, not bass.
Yeah.
with a laughing emoji.
Depends on the home.
Y'all turn it up.
Yes.
Depends on the home.
It is Rochelle. It's with an H. It's Nichole. Yes. So y'all's tone goes up, not when you hear more bass. Like what?
And so what about on the list that the guys felt like, the women felt like they couldn't tell their husbands, but they wanted y'all to relay it? I mean, relay it to the wives.
What's that?
On here, the needs.
His needs.
Oh.
The wives.
Yeah, the wives started off pretty strong. It was just really interesting talking to this group of women because I've never done that before. We switched it up. And so I didn't know how it was going to go. I was following instructions and it's like, all right, women, we want you to talk about these needs and things like that. But really, I didn't even get it out before. They was like, this is what we want. And then they were like excited about it. I was like, whoa, me and Everett was like, we're just trying to keep up. And Everett was getting a little nervous and overwhelmed. He was like, hey, ladies, can one at a time? So the ladies were really excited, kind of almost like these chats to talk about their needs and stuff like that. The guys, I don't know, I wasn't in the guys' room. But anyway, so the ladies started off pretty hardcore. They said, what they believe that we want is sex. That was the first thing that came up, I believe, was sex. And then they talked about, we've talked about sex and we know that that's very important. Right. But also affirmation. Affirmation was another one that the ladies said that in the chat too. Very important. We run out of time. So respect. We've talked about respect. Time to decompress. Time to decompress. And what does that look like? After a hard day's work or something, just, we talked about space. Right. And that's true. This is what the lady said. And another one that's highlighted is this is what the lady said. We didn't say this. No, the men. Disclaimer on the men. They may have been communicating what they felt the men were expressing to them in their own experience. Yes. But what they said was, "Don't talk too much." Don't talk too. I don't even know if I'll let the ladies just come. I'm gonna stay out of that one. Yeah. But they said, "Don't talk too much." That was what the ladies said.
So when we all came back together, guys, we compared the list. When the wives and couples, we all came back together, and basically in comparing what each group stated, we kind of hit it on the nail. We covered some of the same things. When we recapped the discussion, we knew that respect was there. Even the women felt like men thought that we talked too much. They didn't want us to talk too much. Just depending, and I think that goes with that space and that decompressing. Yeah. And so also that being active listeners, good communicators, and the date night was important. So the men gave some of what they thought, and then when we came together and what they thought and what the women actually said, it was close. Okay. So that, to me, that tells us that men, you know what you need to do. Come on now. You know what you need to do.
Come on, bring it on.
So what you're saying?
Just do it.
We don't need remediation. Is that what you're saying?
No, you don't need remediation because the men, you all hit it on the nail, and then women also. You all, from your list, you knew what the men actually wanted.
Yeah, it was solid.
They might not be in the exact order that was given. So basically, my takeaway from this is that we know what we need to be doing. We just got to do it, and we just have to be intentional with it.
All right. Well, is that MIY03? She said, "I love the idea of my future husband being my best friend first." Okay. That way, if when tense discussions arise, we should talk like best friends.
Yeah.
I love that.
That's good. Yeah. We're going to keep that shine there. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely.
Yes.
That's good. Innocence and love.
Yeah, I'm not even going to say nothing, but let's do it like that.
And DJ, at her, she said, "My husband is my best friend." Awesome.
Yes.
And so, guys, with this, because we're coming to an end, and we just wanted to go over with you what came out of the marriage conference when we talk about his needs and her needs. And again, looking at everything that was said and everything that was discussed, it still boils down to speaking your spouse's love language. And that's one of the big things that just consistently stands out in these topics of discussion when it comes to intimacy, when it comes to sex, his needs, her needs, speaking your spouse's love language, and then being intentional. And then we also want to create those safe spaces with our spouses that we should be able to feel like we can go to our spouse and have whatever the conversation is, have that conversation with our spouse, and know that it's a safe space to go to them and to talk about whatever needs to be talked about. And anything else, guys, you want to add to as we close out?
Go ahead.
Well, I was going to add, I know after our meeting with the men, I did pose a question. I was like, okay, men, you know, are you all willing to do these things? Because they gave the list. They gave us a list of what they thought that their wives needed. So are you willing to do it? And then we also asked the ladies when we culminated, like, ladies, we're going to hold up our part, right? We're going to do what it is that our men are saying that we're. So I ask you all tonight.
That's right.
You know, we all are committed to doing what they said they need. Are you all willing to do that?
Yeah. Right. And then even, you know, talking about the safe space, you know, have some conversation starters with your spouse. Like, what's something you need from me that you find hard to ask for? What's one thing I do that makes you feel loved and valued? And then is there something you wish I understood better about you? Because at the end of the day, guys, you know, when we had these breakout sessions, these are some things that the spouses felt like they could not tell each other, but they wanted to, but they just didn't know how. So they used us to be able to do that. And so this is just some food for thought to think about, you know, creating that safe space with your spouses.
Absolutely. Rochelle said, you just getting started, girl.
Right. They said they don't want to end.
Hey, one thing I want to say, I want to encourage everybody to pay attention, if you can, to our events. Like we talked about all this, family life. We talked about all of this at this session. It was a great exchange. It was a lot of couples there. Half the couples probably from out of town, and so you can get the opportunity to engage in. And Nicole and Malcolm, they have lots of programming to where you can just come in person and talk about these concerns.
Right. Yeah. So thank you. And you're welcome, Reggie. So, babe, you want to close us out with a word of prayer, please?
Yeah, I will. All right, guys. For those of you, if your spouse is with you, touch and agree. And if you are waiting on that special person, just like MIYO3 is talking about, just hold your hand up to the Lord. Dear Lord, we just want to thank you so much for your mercy and your grace. And we thank you for the gift of marriage that you gave us as we left the garden in shame because of sin. But Lord, you have ordained for us to be together so that we can see you in our relationship. So Lord, bless every single one of us and keep us. And this is our prayer and petition that you save us when you come. In Jesus' name, amen.
Amen.
All right, guys.
See you
Amen.
guys. Bye.
See you next time.
Bye.